how did this vote go for you, at least?
It's my pleasure, yeah.
In the sense that we had actually genuine competition this time, it seems.
Yes, very much. So nobody really knows till the end, who will be the president. So that was pretty exciting. And as you mentioned, that half of the candidates out of 4, 2 are women with very different ideas. So that was really, really exciting. And I think it shows a change in the Japanese politics.
All right. Although Kishida-san is known as Mr. Status Quo, I'm just wondering, do you think the party missed an opportunity to bring in a new generation of leaders?
No, I don't think so. I think you have to see the change. Kishida-san himself has changed over a year. I think if you look at his policies, let's take the economy. He's talking about not just the growth. Growth is important, but he also put much emphasis on the distribution. So growth and distribution, the positive cycle of growth and distribution is his what he calls a new capitalism. So I think it makes a bit of the change in our economic policy. Although it's also still the truth that we emphasizing on the growth strategy also. Take security too. He also is very positive about discussing the missile strike capability, Japan's possessing missile strike capability. So that's, I think, a change. Actually, through this time's presidential election debates, I think security discussion has become, much more active than before. So. And then thirdly, he is very clearly talking about the generational, not he is saying generational change in a way, but he is talking about he would like to take up younger, talented people to a more important post. So I think there will be a change.
Matsukawa-san, Stephen Engle here. Good to see you again. We've done interviews before in Tokyo.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. I just wanted to ask you whether Kishida-san really was not the compromise, but if you look at Taro Kono, he was more of the maverick, more of the reformer. He was in favor of same-sex marriage. He wanted pension reform. He, of course, had questions about nuclear power and maybe, not restarting that. And then on the other side, the lead female candidate, Takeichi-san, was more of the hawk and the conservative, and really got a lot more votes than was anticipated. Was Kishida-san the safe choice compared to Kono and Takeichi-san?
Well, you can put it in that way too. I think most of the lawmakers and also many people, the votes comes not from the lawmakers or LDP lawmakers, but with the general rank and files are members of the LDP. And Kishida-san gained the votes both in the lawmakers and from the, pretty much votes from the rank and files members. So which shows many people see not necessarily extreme change they want. They want change, but in a moderate, comfortable manner, I think.
Well, you've been a proponent of more females in government. Will this rise of Takeichi-san and also Seiko Noda on the main ticket, what's that going to do? Because participation by women in government is still extremely low.
Right. President Kishida is very, proponent. I mean, he is very positive about, giving a chance to women. So I'm expecting change in that regards to. Plus, half of this time election itself is showing that, you have two out of 4 candidates are women. They have very different ideas. And I think it shows okay, well, women is this or men is like that. This stereotype doesn't, hold because Takaichi and Noda-san are opposite, super conservative and super liberal. So, I think that, of course, the personal issue will coming up. I think Mr. Kishida is now considering hardly about where, that he would like to put this person to this post. And, he's under consideration. But I'm pretty sure that the next cabinet or the posts in our party, many young people and also the women, I think Mr. Kishida certainly would like to pay attention to make a change.
Just looking at some of these media reports, we've got Akira Amari perhaps being made Secretary General of the party itself. That would be the number 2 post in the LDP. And Koichi Hagiuda, if I can't pronounce that properly, but being floated as Chief Cabinet Secretary. What does that tell us about, if there's a new makeup of the Cabinet, what does that tell us about the policies he's going to be prioritising?
Sorry, I couldn't hear your question well, really. Mr. Hagiuda and what?
Exactly. Some of the changes he's making to the Cabinet, I'm just asking, what does that tell us about what's top of his reform agenda?
Well, I think as he stated, he would like to focus on narrowing the gap, economic gap among the people. So he would like to first propose into several trillion yen package for supporting the people in poverty or like a difficult situation. And also he is talking about the growth and distribution positive cycle economy. And so I think there will be many changes. As for the cabinet membership, he is still under consideration, and I cannot make any comments on that. But my sense is,
I just want to ask
we will
you about
how.
I was going to ask you, the first challenges facing Kishida is going to be the general election, and then we have the upper house election next year. He's already talked about how he's kind of seen as boring. Does he have the charisma, do you think, to avoid losing seats?
Oh yeah, I think this time general election of, I'm sorry, not general election. This time the LDP presidential election itself give, clearly to the people that all the debate was on the internet or either on the internet or TV. So everybody, not necessarily only the LDP members. Well, it could be maybe only one of the few COVID assets, but all the debates were seen by the general public, the people or Japanese people, and diverse agenda from economy to women's empowerment to children's issues to security or diplomacy or the pensions issues. So I think it's already the LDP has gained a bit higher popularity than before starting this presidential election. Plus, President Kishida himself has, I think, over a year, he has changed much more straight. He speaks much more straightforward manner. He looks much more reliant and more bold. And I think you can. I think it's really wrong to see him as a still boring person. He has changed, I think.
Right.
He can be a good,
I
think, the figure to attract the in the coming general election. I'm pretty sure.
Matsukawa-san, what kind of leader will he be on the geopolitical front? Because he is widely regarded as being more dovish when he was foreign minister and some sort of appeasement toward on the Korean issues. But in this last year, he's taken a bit more of a hawkish tone. He's voiced concern about the authoritarian rule in China. He's voiced concern about Taiwan being a flashpoint. Do you feel that the rise of Takaichi-san, who's the conservative nationalist, who was Shinzo Abe's choice for prime minister, her popularity perhaps pushed Kishida-san to be more hawkish on the geopolitical front and wary of China?
I think so. I mean, but it's not only Takaichi-san's elements. Because of the fact, the reality, Chinese, the vessels coming over to our own islands, our territory of Senkaku Islands every day almost. And I think that the security environment has already changed. And Kishida-san, he has been in the foreign ministership for 4 years. He knows the reality. He's a professional. He's been in diplomacy for a long time. And he's may look like dovish, but I think I would call him a modest realist. And he is responding to the reality of the region. So I expect a realistic yet diplomatic position vis-a-vis China. He considers talking to China is important, but at the same time, protecting the nations is also very important.
And very quickly, does this spell the restart of the nuclear power program in Japan?
If the standard is met, yes.